I'd like to call the business meeting of the Portland Board of Public Education to order. It is Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. We are meeting in a hybrid format with some of us here at Casco Bay High School and board members Figdor and Biliu on Zoom. Superintendent Nally, will you please call the roll? Sorry, I'm moving quickly.
I like it. Yes, I will. Okay. Member Biliu? Member Vice Chair Bondo?
Présent.
Member Bryden?
Here.
Member Figdor?
Here.
Member Grant?
Here.
Member Opperman?
Here.
Member Russell Better?
Here.
Member Youssef?
Here.
Student Rep Ellis?
Here.
Student Rep Francisco? Or no. Student Rep Amon?
Here.
Student Rep McLaughlin? Student Rep Santiago?
Here.
Chair Lenz?
Here. And I forgot to mention that student rep McLaughlin has a track meet tonight, so will not be joining us.
Okay.
But good luck, Danny. Okay, thank you. Now we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Portland Public Schools recognizes the original inhabitants of the land on which our city and schools stand. The Wolastoqiyik or Maliseet, Micmac, Penobscot, and Passamaquoddy tribes, known collectively as the Wabanaki Confederacy or People of the Dawnland. We are honored to have Wabanaki children among our students today. And as a district, we are committed to making the past, present, and future of Wabanaki peoples visible here in our schools and classrooms. So now we're going to move into public comment. And as reminders about public comment, it's open to anything we are not voting on tonight. The board may not respond to any comments, and please refrain from responding in the audience. No complaints or allegations will be allowed in public concerning any staff member or any person connected with the school district. To give public comment, please come forward to the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Please begin by introducing yourself with your name and address, and I'll alternate between Zoom and in person. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. I'll keep the time, and when you've reached 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I'll raise a yellow folder indicating that you have 30 seconds remaining. At 3 minutes, I'll raise a red folder signifying the end of your time. If you get to the end of your time and would like to request more time, you may do so. All right, so we've got a couple of folks in the room if you want to come up. And I'll be looking at Zoom as well.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Carrie Dowdy. I am the president of the Portland Education Association, and I live at 27 Fleetwood Street in Portland. I feel like it's been a little bit since I've been here at the mic. I'd like to thank you. Well, I have two things I want to ask about. First, I'd like to thank you for the comprehensive list of dates on the budget timeline on the Portland Public Schools webpage. I made myself a copy, but I've written on it. This is what I'm talking about. But with that said, I'm asking if an indicator in terms of which meetings include public comment and which don't could be embedded. Thank you for that. And the second thing I wanted to mention was looking ahead with the understanding that critical positions for next year are being held in place by temporary funding. I'd like to give a shout out to the MEA and their support of the Portland Public Schools. MEA lobbyist John Kaczynski is organizing PEA members to meet directly with Portland's representatives in Augusta so that we can collaboratively seek future funding sources in order to continue to invest and reinvest in our students in the spirit of the Portland Promise. I share this to invite anyone on the school board that may be interested in this work to get in touch and partner with the PEA and the MEA on this, because I see this as collaborative and ongoing work. And I understand it's public comment, so you can't answer right now, but I wanted to throw the invitation out. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Good evening. I'm Sue Chevalier. I am a pre-K DLL teacher at Penobscot and Children's Odyssey pre-Ks, and I live in Buxton, Maine. I am here to address the proposal to reduce a pre-K DLL teacher next year. Currently, we have 5 pre-K dual language learner teachers serving just under 100 pre-K dual language learners. These students are in 15 classrooms in 11 different locations. The majority of these students are IELD students who are entitled by our Allow Plan to receive intensive English language support. Given that the Portland Public Schools pre-K program is due to expand next year, I'm concerned with the plan to cut a DLL teacher position. Next year, we expect that the pre-K will increase from 15 classrooms in 11 locations to 16 or 17 classrooms in 12 locations. We expect that we will increase the overall number of DLL students we serve and the places in which we serve them. Travel time between buildings is not insignificant, and with the position cut and more places to go, DLL teachers will be spending more time in transit than ever, thereby decreasing the time we can be in classrooms. We provide services within each pre-K so that students remain in their classrooms with their peers and engage in their daily routines in the core curriculum. We also support and collaborate with classroom teachers, some of whom have minimal experience working with this diverse population, to engage in best practices serving our young English language learners. And we know that providing intentional language support in the early years helps our youngest English language learners to achieve proficiency on the access test by the end of 5th grade, a critical time for achieving proficiency. Many of our pre-K DLL students are new arrivals and facing challenges. Some are unhoused, some have experienced trauma or are currently experiencing secondary trauma. Some are experiencing food insecurity, and some are experiencing many or all of these challenges. Being in a new country, new to English and Western schools, not having been in a group setting, all can make adjusting difficult and require support beyond what a pre-K classroom teacher with 16 students can provide. Newcomer IELD students have needs that are typically much more significant than their US-born peers. And we know that we will continue to receive new arrivals, as we've heard in prior meetings, and data from our current situation. In addition to working directly with pre-K classroom teachers, the DLL teachers also strive to collaborate with our ESOL colleagues in kindergarten through 5th grade, school nurses, social workers, and other service providers, in the case of dually identified students in particular. DLL teachers understand both early childhood education and language acquisition best practices. I urge you to reconsider eliminating a pre-K DLL position, especially given the number of new arrivals who bring a multitude of gifts, but also a multitude of needs. And also the reality that classroom teachers, school social workers, and other school staff are already faced with ample challenges in serving our students. My 4 DLL colleagues support this view as well. Thanks very much for your consideration.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to give public comment tonight? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close public comment and move on to my remarks. Last Friday, I was joined outside Deering High School by many community members to show support for the Deering High School's Gender and Sexuality Alliance student group and their organizing of an event which explored the history of drag and queer joy. Given the national conversation and current attacks on members of the LGBTQ+ community, I'm incredibly proud to be part of a community and a district that in situations like these do not ask if we support these students, but how. I'm incredibly grateful for the leadership of the current interim superintendents and the support from local police and community members, and all the incredible students who both organized the event and showed up for their peers. In other news, our superintendent search continues to be on track to have a new superintendent in place by late May or early June. As of last Friday, we've had 17 competitive applications and anticipate them continuing to come in. Alma Advisory Group screens these applicants and moves on to first round interviews, which are actually starting this week. Alma Advisory Group has also been working deeply with both the board and the search committee in creating an equitable interview process. As of now, that process will include 1 to 2 rounds of interviews with the board and search committee before a final round of candidates will be scheduled to be in Portland to take place to have interviews with 6 different rounds of community members. A nomination process to be part of these panels will be open shortly, and you'll be able to nominate yourself or others to be part of these panels. The nomination form will be advertised both on social media and in the community newsletter and on our website. As you know, we are also very deep into budget season. There's going to be a workshop tonight to look deeper into the numbers and concepts, and another public hearing, which will happen on April 4th. Public hearings are a great time to bring public comment. As you noted, Carrie, we can definitely amplify any time that public comment is allowable. But anytime we're not voting on the budget, you're welcome to give public comment at any of our board meetings. If you can't make it to public comment, feel free to email us your feedback and thoughts at any time. Finally, I'd like to give a shout out to Ocean Avenue School, who was hosting a community potluck tonight, which I didn't get to go to because I'm here. But many schools across the district have been hosting these lately, and I've heard nothing but great things about the community building and delicious food happening at each one of them. Many thanks to the organizers of these connective events and all the families that are coming to them. With that, I'm going to pass it to Student Representative Amond to do an update on Portland High School.
Thank you, Chair. Hello, board, members of the public. Seeing as this is my first report, I figured I'd give a quick introduction. My name is Caden Hemond. I'm a junior at Portland High School. I previously attended Lyman Moore and Lyseth, and I also had an older sister that went through the district and graduated from PHS in 2020. Bulldog Nation has been busy as usual. We started off the month with a tough loss to the Red Riots in the boys AA state basketball championships. But at least now we can empathize with their loss at the Battle of the Bridge last year. On Wednesday of that same week, the PHS math team had their last meet of the regular season at Cheverus, and we finished the year in second place in the large schools division. The next day, the senior class held the annual dodgeball tournament fundraiser after Block 5. This much anticipated event always brings together a large number of students to form teams and cheer on their friends and classmates. This past Wednesday, Portland musicians joined all the other schools in the district in the all-city concert, which featured middle school, high school, and combined pieces from the concert band, orchestra, and the choir. On Thursday, the Women's Rights Club held a bake sale during conferences to raise funds for Afghan Women, an organization that's dedicated to defending women and girls against Taliban oppression in Afghanistan and supporting Afghan women and girls seeking refuge in the United States. Also on Thursday, and then again on Friday, the Portland Drama Club presented the Graduation Project, their entry to the One Act Regional Festival that they participated in the weekend prior. Every day this week, PHS musical groups are performing after school. This afternoon, the jazz band played everything from blues to bossas in the cafeteria from 2:40 to 3:40. Also featured this week are a rock band and an Afrobeat group. As we approach the budget for next year, the importance of the arts cannot be overstated. The music room is one of the few spaces in the school where background and ability are irrelevant. Anyone from anywhere can learn to love playing music. It is the universal language after all, so let's not neglect it. Coming up on Thursday, the Student Council is organizing a student versus teacher basketball game featuring the most notable educators and ballers at PHS. Council members tie-dyed t-shirts for the teams last week, and we were all getting hyped for what is sure to be a spectacle. Speaking of athletics, spring sports season starts next week. Here's hoping for this warmer weather to continue for our student athletes. On a more serious note, I need to close by pointing out a disturbing trend I've noticed on both the district and statewide levels. There are currently 2 bills in the state legislature taking aim at trans students' rights. One requiring parental approval for preferred pronoun usage, and the other restricting girls' sports to biological females. Locally, the board has received several messages consisting of blatant bigotry towards student-organized LGBTQ+ activities in the past couple weeks. These individuals fail to recognize that this is not part of a district-led agenda. This is what we want as students, and for those who don't, they are more than welcome to not attend. Last Friday, a small group of these members of the public decided they were going to put their prejudice on full display outside Deering. I want to thank both of the superintendents and Chair Lentz for coming to join the sizable coalition of students and community members who showed up to counter these demonstrators. It is with these showings of solidarity that we prevent these pervasive ideologies from taking root in the district and showing students, staff, and the community that Portland Public Schools does not tolerate hate in any form. With the privilege this position affords me, one of my top priorities is to protect my fellow queer students, a group that is too often overlooked by the district and disproportionately targeted by the public. Each of us claim to be defenders of the underrepresented. I expect us to hold each other accountable to that promise. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'm going to turn it over to you all.
Great. Thank you, Student Rep Heeman, for those courageous words and a really spectacular first report. Great job. Good evening, board and community, and happy spring. Hopefully everyone is enjoying the extra sunlight and what feels like warmer weather coming. It's hard to believe that we're exactly 3 months from the last day of school, which is now June 21st, given the snow days. We also want to acknowledge that this year Ramadan begins tomorrow evening, March 22nd, and is expected to end on April 21st. This is the time when Muslims wake up early to eat a pre-dawn meal called suhoor, and they break their fast after sundown with a large meal referred to as iftar. Our educators have been made aware that many of our students observe Ramadan and will be fasting during the month, as has our food services department. Schools will be offering accommodations during meal times. We're thrilled to announce that Anne-Marie Orth was just named the 2023 Teacher of the Year for the Educators for a Multilingual Maine. Anne-Marie is a Spanish teacher at Casco Bay High School and a world language specialist for the district. In the words of Derek Pierce, her principal, Anne-Marie's students love her because learning with Anne-Marie is more than safe and joyful. It's exuberant and transformational. This is the second time in recent years that a world language teacher at the Portland Public Schools has received the recognition. We're so proud of you, Anne-Marie. We're also proud to share that Portland High School senior Jamie Boya Biavanga won the runner-up award at the Poetry Out Loud state competition, held March 13th at Bates College in Lewiston. The Maine state final event required 10 student winners from across the state to recite 3 poems throughout the evening. Jamie eloquently enthralled the judges and the audience with his recitation of Fable for Blackboard by George Starbucks, April Midnight by Arthur Simons, and We Wear the Mask by Paul Lawrence Dunbar. To prepare for the state competition, Jamie spent hours reciting his 3 poems with his English teacher, Ann Hall. In addition to working on the poems in school, Jamie practiced with his friends and family before and after school. And his teacher, Miss Hall, said, Jamie worked tirelessly on his poems. He was an easy student to coach because he was open to feedback and willing to try different approaches. He did a fantastic job. In other positive news, we're thrilled to have kicked off the field work for our kindergarten maple sugaring unit. This is an interdisciplinary component of our Wabanaki and science curriculum at the elementary level. All kindergarten students have learned how to tap a maple tree in their schoolyards. I recently received a video, and I shared this with the school board, of a student from Reiki who explained how to tap the tree and remarked that once you take all of the steps, you thank your tree. In addition to learning about history and science, students are learning to deepen their relationship with and connection to the land. Students culminate this unit with a visit to the Paths Maple House. By March 23rd, all approximately 500 kindergarten students across the district will have visited the Paths Maple House. A big shout out to Reiki kindergarten teacher Amy Wu and teacher leaders Fiona Hopper, Katie West, Brooke Teller, and Cindy Sewell for their deeply thoughtful and innovative leadership of this curriculum experience.
Great. Good evening, everybody. As Member Heyman mentioned, as part of March's Music in Our Schools Month, Deering High School hosted the 43rd annual Portland Public Schools All-City Concert last Wednesday, March 15th. Over 250 band, chorus, and orchestra students from grades 6 through 12 from PPS participated. These students rehearse in their own schools beginning in January, and on the day of the concert, there are combined rehearsals for each group that features a conductor and an accompanist for a chorus from the PPS music department. All City is not only to recognize the importance of music and music education in our schools, but also to have students work together from across the district. This provides an opportunity for the middle schoolers to meet and talk with high school students and their music teachers. This year, the band was joined by 2 of our principals, Sheila Jepson of Portland High on the French horn, and Marisa Ayala of Lincoln on the saxophone. Thank you to all of our district music educators, and in particular, our leaders across the middle and high schools, Audrey Cabral, our district music coordinator, Jane Sawtell, Abby Hutchins, Julianne Eberl, Ashley Terrason, Dan Nogar, Tammy Carasone, Bridget Kazukevich, and Bethany Kirkpatrick. On a different note, we want to update everybody on the question about the ELL hardship budget adjustment that we have heard about. The state allocated money to support districts that were experiencing an increase in multilingual enrollments above and beyond what had been projected in their initial EPS allocations. Unfortunately, we have learned that we did not qualify for these funds this year. In board docs, I have attached the spreadsheet from the finance official at the state reflecting their calculations about our eligibility. The formula accounts for the amount of money allocated in the EPS formula for multilingual learners. And to qualify for these additional funds, our increase in enrollment would need to be greater than a 5% increase in our allocation based on those updated enroll numbers. So to clarify, the 5% is not in regards to overall enrollment increase, but as an increase of our allocation based on enrollment. As you can see in the document, we are about $70,000 shy of being eligible for this adjustment. The good news is that there were different funds made available for the state in a similar time frame because of the increased numbers of the McKinney-Vento enrollments. And we did receive and are currently utilizing $1.6 million to address the immediate needs around the increase in enrollments, both in terms of staffing at the school level and the supports needed at our multilingual intake center. Lastly, before we close the superintendent's reports, we wanted to highlight the upcoming Parent U series, Parents as Partners for the Portland Promise. This two-part series builds off the most recent Parent U event on January 26th, Outreach in Partnership with Multilingual Families, Strategies and Best Practices. The first of the series is this Thursday evening from 6 to 7:30 online, and the focus is on mindsets, tools, and practices for building bridges across difference. The second meeting will be in person at East End on Tuesday, April 11th from 6 to 7:30, and will focus on peer coaching and practice for building bridges across difference. Two PPS parents are the lead facilitators for these events, Kate O'Brien and Jess Hathaway. We thank them for their efforts to continue to make our parent and family manifesto a living reality. These events have been shared in our communications and on social media. Please help amplify this event within your networks and hope that you're able to join as able. With that concludes our report.
Thank you. Let's see. Now we are going to move on to some old business, which is a second read and vote to approve sabbatical requests for the 2023-2024 school year. Is anyone here to speak on this?
I'll introduce him. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So in just a moment, you can come up, Emily and Jesse. I'm going to pass it to Jessie Robinson, our Director of Curriculum Instruction, who's on her way to the podium. And she'll give a bit more context on the sabbatical process. And we'll introduce Emily Surway, who is right there behind her, who's being recommended for a sabbatical based on her compelling application. After hearing from Jesse and Emily, we are asking you to take action by approving the sabbatical. And for a bit of additional context, as a part of the most recent round of negotiations, the negotiating team updated sabbatical language to create more clarity on the process. And as a part of the language changes, the board delegated its authority for approval through the collective bargaining agreement. So in this, we agreed to fund up to 2 employees at 0.5 FTE funding for a total of 1.0 FTE each year. Applications need to meet the minimum score criteria and the years of service criteria to be eligible for approval. And if those criteria are met, the board is required to approve the recommendation put forward. So ultimately, this is really to provide transparency and to follow that approval process. So Jesse, if you want to speak a little bit more to how we go about that, and then we'll hear from Emily.
Great. Thank you, Co-Superintendent Nally, and good evening. I'm excited to share with you a little bit more about the benefits of a sabbatical and the process we took to approve this application. The sabbatical structure is one way that we can acknowledge the important work of teachers, support their pursuit of new and innovative ideas and interests while advancing our shared work, and return to the profession refreshed and ready to re-engage. Additionally, given the current labor market forces and the challenges we and other educational institutions are facing nationwide in terms of attracting educators, sabbaticals offer a unique tool for both attracting and retaining staff. Sometimes a sabbatical can spark innovation that advances our work in new ways. We have granted 6 sabbaticals in the past 9 years, and one of those was taken by Brooke Teller, who was a science teacher at Casco Bay. She took a sabbatical 4 years ago and returned to become a STEM teacher leader and lead our district's important work to bring high-quality science to our elementary schools. The PEA contract provides a sabbatical benefit to educators who have completed at least 7 consecutive years of full-time service to PPS. Sabbaticals may be granted for purposes of study or travel related to the educator's teaching field or to complete other work of value to the district. Educators submit applications, and we convene a group of educators that consists of members of the academic team, myself, and some teacher representatives. We use a common rubric to review the application on elements such as alignment to district goals, clear links to their current assignment, and how the educator will measure progress and achievement of their goals. And finally, we look to see if there is a clear plan for sharing their work and experiences when they come back from their sabbatical in a way that will have a significant positive impact on our community. Educators who are granted a full year sabbatical leave must return to PPS for at least 2 years to continue the work. I have the pleasure to introduce to you Emily Surway, art teacher at Deering High School. She has been a teacher in PPS for 19 years and in the profession for 24. And her application met our criteria for approval. She will share with you her proposal for a full year sabbatical. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessie, and thank you all for approving this sabbatical. I really do appreciate it. And just to give you a little bit of context, when I first started teaching, there were very few resources that our teacher could find that didn't focus on dead white artists. And so as a teacher, who a diverse background, I had this mission to pull together as many resources as I could about underrepresented artists, particularly marginalized artists. And so I have decided to work with the Portland Museum of Art, they're amazing, and their education team is incredible. And we're going to be working together to mine their collection for underrepresented artists, and then to create teaching tools such as posters and a website to sort of bring together resources for teachers to feature these artists in their classroom. I think it's important work. It's work that I've done personally, and now it's work that I want to create on a larger scale. So the way that I see this is just the beginning for more work to come. And it's work that is meaningful to our students and to our staff. It's work that's meaningful to the community. It is a way for us to connect our students to the greater world of art that is out there that just isn't always the ones on everybody's wall. So we're going to put that art on the wall. So I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
So thank you, Emily.
Yeah.
Anybody? Well, I'm going to do questions. Sure. Anybody have any questions or comments? I'm just super jealous. It sounds wonderful. And I also just am so excited for the PMA with their new strategic direction, and just that this could help our district, but also the larger community overall. So thank you for dreaming this up.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for the support. And I'm so thankful that this is, work that is valued as a district and as a community. And I think that this partnership with the museum really proves that to everybody. So it's wonderful.
Wonderful. Yes, Vice Chair Bondo.
Thank you. Just enjoy what you're going to do. So I just have a little clarification for the process on the sabbatical leaves. Are you keeping your benefits as a teacher, or are you going to survive? Are you still
Yes. So
are you going to lose your pay, or are you going to keep your benefits in the district? I just want to make sure.
Oh, thank you for asking. You keep your benefits, you keep all of the health care and everything intact. And then I believe it's half of your actual salary.
Great.
Thank you for asking. So thoughtful.
Yeah. Thank you. And good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Let me just double check Zoom. Sorry. Okay. Yes, Board Member Billio.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask, or am wondering, and sorry, this is mostly because you said dead white folks, but I'm wondering how, if you're also planning on getting work from folks that are a little bit more alive, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. I love it. I love the question. It's hysterical. I'm sorry if I wasn't clear.
No,
It's okay. When I say underrepresented artists, I think very often we're looking to see who the historical examples of these artists were, because there were Black artists, there were female artists, there were Indigenous artists, all working for the last several thousand years, and very few of them are ever featured in most art history textbooks, let alone posters. But my personal focus is on contemporary artists, and the posters that I have made for my classroom feature contemporary artists of color, contemporary LGBTQ plus artists, artists that are disabled, artists that are underrepresented. And so, yes, I will be including the living artists as well as the.
Yeah, thanks for the clarification.
Awesome. Yeah. So then I am going to look to was that a question? Did you have a question? Okay. Sorry. I saw a hand movement. I'm going to look to the board for a motion to approve the sabbatical request for the 2023. Board Member Bryden, and did I see a second? Board Member Opperman. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes. Board Member
Can I
Gray.
just say something?
Sure.
Just want to let you know that I'll abstain from the vote, but it has nothing to do with your proposal, just that I abstained from most personnel votes. So just wanted you to know that.
Thank you.
Thank you for setting that.
Thank you for
context.
clarifying. I would have been so good.
Okay. And this is a personnel item, so there should not be public comment. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes. Okay. So, all right then. I think we're ready for a vote.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Great. Member Billiou,
Yes.
Vice Chair Bondo,
Yes.
Member Bryden,
Yes.
Member Figdor,
Yes.
Member Grant,
Abstain.
Member Opperman,
Yes.
Member Russellbetter,
Yes.
Member Yusuf,
Yes.
Student Rep Ellis,
Yes.
Student Rep Hemond,
Yes.
Student Rep Santiago,
Yes.
Chair Lentz.
Yes. So the motion passes with the students voting with the majority and Board Member Grant abstaining. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And again, thank you for your support. It is, it's just so wonderful to be able to know that I work in a district that supports this work, as you said earlier. So thank you.
Awesome. Oh, we've had a lot of good news in this meeting. Thank you very much, everyone. So now we're going to adjourn and then we'll have a quick break and then we're going to come back for a budget workshop. So is there a motion to adjourn this business meeting? Thank you, Board Member Yusuf. And I see a second from Board Member Grant. All those in favor? Well done, everyone. So we're going to adjourn at 7:32.